All right, so we're gonna do a Brewster update. A lot of this stuff doesn't look that different, but this is all done now. We're happy enough with the way it looks. I'm not sure that we're going to cover it up when we park it. We're kind of thinking maybe if we park it permanently, then we will, but we'll just kind of do that once we find a permanent home. But as long as we're picking it up every night and taking it back to the commissary, cleaning it, filling it with water, draining the water, doing all that kind of stuff, we're thinking maybe just leave it this way so that we don't have to go together and take apart and put together so many times to do that. But once we hook it up to power and hook it up to city sewer or whatever we hook it up to, then we'll go ahead and cover that up and put a sign there and do something on the side of it when it's kind of in a more semi-permanent location. So this is pretty much all done. I've still got to get the canopy wired into the trailer. All this is going to happen next week. I was going to do that today, but it's kind of wet up there, so I might go do some welding instead. I got to get the panels up there next to the canopy. Those two squares are both going to have some sort of signs on them, or at least panels. We don't really like that way that it looks, although it is growing on me. So I'll get Mandy and Quentin's opinion there again. But last time we talked, we were planning on filling those two holes to make it look more like it looks with the canopy there. Then on the front here, we've got these boxes in and done. So this side here houses the battery. Again, it's not completely wired yet. What you're seeing in there, that colorful wire, is actually going to be the trailer lighting. So there's going to be a box that goes in there that all hooks to. And then both this white wire is providing 12 volts to some stuff inside. It's going to be used primarily as a backup. This is going to be our main feed for our 12 volt into the trailer, into Brewster. So all that has to still get hooked up. I'll be doing that next week. That will run the water pump, and it'll also charge that battery when the generator's turned on. And it also controls the canopies. Those are the main things that are 12 volt at this time. Just made more sense to do that. And then this is the hydraulic pump and all that set up. So that's all sealed up and cleaned up. And those are mounted on there. Cut these off because they were sticking out too far, and we plan to put signage kind of along this at a good V going up to the hitch, both to protect the hitch a little bit, not structurally, but people will be able to see it a lot more when you got something this tall and this big going all the way along here. Like I say, the drive-through sign for that side will be right there next to the air conditioner. Put the air conditioner in this week. Haven't decided yet. I might paint it black. I don't think I'm going to go that way again. I think I'm going to go back to the split unit idea and see how it does. I'm at least going to do that on one of the next ones so that I can compare the two. I don't have any real issues with anything that went down on this one here. I don't love it. I don't know how well it's going to hold up. I've got some concerns about it. I went back and forth on it a few times, and as you can see, that's where I landed. That's not a window unit, that's actually an in-wall unit, so had some pros and cons to how I mounted it in there, but I just cheated and I mounted it really well, so it ain't coming out of there. But yeah, I might do that one a little different the next time. So that's done. Like I say, everything on the outside is pretty much done. The windows are in, all of the trim pieces are up. Still have some wiring to do on the trailer brakes. We'll be getting, that was supposed to happen today, but Mandy and Quentin are spending some time with family. So I'm adjusting things a little bit, but throughout the week, next week, we'll get the trailer brakes working, we'll get the trailer lights on it. I'm gonna be I'm putting a couple kind of entry and exit points into these doors that allow wires to have these doors be shut and still have wire to come in and out of it. And I'll do it on both sides. I really only need it on that side because that's where all my power's coming in here at. But when we unplug and we're driving down the road, I'm gonna want trailer lights to come out on both sides. So we're building stuff to come out of there. Got the door put on, the doorknob, that's all done. Sealed up and ready. On the inside, It's looking better every step we put on. You're seeing it kind of in an untrimmed status right now. While I was in Montana with Mandy, Cassie did most of this herself, which is not an easy thing. Made some mistakes. The work's a little rougher than I would have liked to have seen, but for her first time really sheeting something, she did it all by herself. That's a pretty tall order. I got these wires lengthened for the switch, so we're going to be putting another box in here right after that. This will be our light switch here. And now what you're seeing, you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So if you look at this roof right here, that's untrimmed. We got all of our corner pieces in, but it still looks kind of rough. If you come up here, you kind of see what it's going to look like, and it trims out really nice. So we'll have all those corners on there. Then we'll be putting trim pieces down here. I've got these done. We did these a couple days ago, so that glue will be dry now. So basically these windows, that tape sticks when you don't want it to. These windows used to look like this right here. That's how it looked. And that's the trim detail that we came up with for that. So we got those all trimmed out. Now we can caulk those, so those will be good. Put those screws back in. Got the base on, so we want the final base on everything. We got that all installed. These windows do tend to leak a little bit. It's not that there's anything wrong, it's their nature of their design. Again, this whole thing's sloping this way. So when the window comes down and hits that ledge, the water comes down and hits that ledge, it tends to drip in here a little bit. Again, not a big deal, just something that we're noticing, and we're gonna have to decide if we want to deal with it or not. I don't think it'll be a problem near as bad if this wasn't sitting. It's a pretty good angle that this is sitting at, so when the water hits right outside there, you see daylight coming in underneath that window, and it just lets this water, a little bit of water come in. But we're really close to just having this thing, you know, a big push and go. I'm just waiting on Cassie to get some of the stuff cut that's taking her way longer than it should. So as soon as we get that, we'll button it up, work on the plumbing, countertops, and then we start putting the coolers and everything in here, and we're good to go. Had to move this outlet. You'll understand more later, but we found some really cool kind of shop racks, but they're gonna work really good to go here and here, for Mandy to store some syrups in and stuff like that. So the air conditioning plug needed to be moved, so we moved it over here. This was Cassie's mistake. There's nothing there. She was aiming for this hole and she was over there. So that's how we're fixing it. When we're done, you won't even notice it. So I'm tattling on her a little bit. But again, those type of mistakes don't bother me because it was a mistake. I've made them. It happens. It's when they don't listen that it's hard to stay calm. But yeah, that's pretty much the inside. The lights are in. As soon as we get power to it and get the switches on, those will all work. I'm working on the countertops today. Maybe. I gotta be honest, I'm still bouncing around on those, even though I've got them bought. The original plan was to go with stainless, but I don't know how long that's going to take. I think it's worth a phone call. There's a company in town that has, I don't have the equipment to bend anything wider than 4 feet, and I don't want to put a seam on it. We kind of like the idea and do it stainless, so I think I'm going to call them and get a price, and then maybe go with like 1/2-inch plywood and then put stainless. I got the butcher block sitting in there, but I don't love it. I just don't. I really wanted it to be stainless. So I might go ahead and get the other counter built. There's the sink counter is going to go right here. And so I got to build that. That's going to be a countertop here. There'll be drain racks up here above the sink. Like I said, then your water tank, your wastewater is there, your fresh water is over there. It's all coming together. It's going to work. We just have to get it buttoned up. So as far as the detail that you missed, really, you didn't get to see us putting the base up. That's nothing that exciting. And then We got some of the metal strips up. The air conditioner going in was a pretty big deal. The door's in now. It opens and shuts, so everything's cool. And that's your Brewster update. So we talked about these corners and how I was going to deal with them so that I could run my wires around the post. Remember, I'm going to be changing that on the next version. So the posts are going to be up a little higher, not these, but the ones that matter. This one here won't be there, which will give me access directly into the roof, which I can go wherever I want with my wires. So it would make it where I didn't have to do that, but I'm probably still going to do it because this is what it looks like now. You're like, ew, but this is what it looks like. This is the box I told you we were going to build. And what this does is it hides those wires like I just showed you, so it allows me to run those wires from the roof into the wall going around that steel post. But what it also does is it gives me this square, allows me just to put nice butt cuts of all of the trim that we're going to put up here. If I don't do that, I'm going to have some pretty weird joints with my angle there. I'm going to have angle going up, I'm going to have angle going in, I'm going to have angle going in. It's just going to be a real busy joint, where this right here, I can butt cut right to there, I can butt cut right to here, and I can butt cut right to there, and it'll just clean that up and seal it all up and we're done. So this is, we're going to have these all around here in these different things. Plus it does give me access to those wires. I don't know why I would ever need access, but it gives me the access if I had to get to them. So those are the square boxes that we've been talking about for the last month and a half. Cassie bent them, I welded them. They're really thin aluminum, so I'm not gonna say the welding went really well, but they're gonna work. Please, get to work. Why are you sitting there?
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.